What's going on, everyone? Per request, I'm going to be breaking down Shane Waldron's offense against the Dallas Cowboys. I think I was one of the most impressive, if not the most impressive, performance that the Seahawks offense and Shane Waldron put on last season. The Seahawks they didn't regress at all, but I think they just dealt with a lot of injuries and a lot of different issues on their offense that they didn't deal with the previous year. Maybe I should go back and look at 2022, but I thought this game specifically was a good showcasing of what Shane Waldron has to offer, the best of what he has to offer. I might do like a two-part series on this. I may look at a game in which they kind of struggled in a little more and talk about some of the reservations I have with the Shane Waldron offense. But overall, I do really like what I've been studying. And this game is a great example. So I'm not going to start at the very top of the game just in sake of time. I wanted to look at more of the passing game element because from a run game perspective, I don't think Shane Waldron does a ton of crazy stuff. Like, I don't really think that's what he's going to be known for. He was brought in to fix this passing game, to develop Caleb Williams. That's mainly what I'm going to be focusing on, again, for the sake of time. And maybe I'll break down some of the more running stuff. But Seattle wasn't really known for running the ball, at least not very well. Not to say that I don't think they'll do that with the Bears. I actually think they will run the ball better with the Bears because the Bears' offensive line should be better than Seattle's. But the passing game, again, is what I'm going to be focusing on. And this was the first passing play of Seattle's offense. I do have a marker tool I'm going to try to use. Please bear with me. I'm just starting to use it. I'm still getting the hang of it, but I will try to do my best to kind of outline and draw for you guys what kind of concepts they're running. So this was a 3rd and 9, right? And these are the downs you really want to look at. Obvious passing downs. How does your offensive coordinator make life easier when everyone knows you have to pass? And this is just like a pure passing formation as well, right? Everyone's kind of spread out. It's a 3-by-1, 3 receivers on one side. DK Metcalf has the X receiver on the outside, and the X receiver is the outside wide receiver who plays on the line of scrimmage. And that's what you're going to see here, where he's going to go with the ball. So this looks like a one-on-one coverage. We can kind of get into it. He's backing off. It doesn't look like press. This looks like quarters, pre-snap. Quarters is just cover 4. Every one of these back defenders has a 4th, and then these guys kind of cover the middle part of the field, the second-level defenders. And then in this situation, the D-line can just kind of tee off, right? So it is quarters, which is kind of a form of man coverage, right? Like, it's technically zone, but everyone's kind of matching on players. So Gino knowing, okay, hey, I got one-on-one. If I throw this on time and don't stare at this route, which is some type of skinny post, which I will draw for you guys, going on my Picasso stuff. If I throw this on time, if I throw this with anticipation, I know I got one-on-one. Let me go back to my mouse. I know I got one-on-one, which he wins. He looks off that safety, Gino does, and he's got DK Metcalf wide open. Not wide open, actually a very tight window, but throws it on time, throws it with accuracy, boom, for a massive play, right? And when you got explosive playmakers like the Bears do, this is the result you hope to happen, right? I'm not saying every play will be like this, but when you run the offense correctly and on time and trust your guys this is a kind of a risky throw, right? You're anticipating this safety is not just going to double team DK Metcalf, right? You're looking this off. Look how Gino looks to this side, where honestly the route concept of it all is happening here. So he's probably trying to read that out. And he knows if all else fails, I'm going to go to my guy who I'm going to have one-on-one if I look this safety off, which is what happened, right? The safety goes right to the middle of the field. So he's got a one-on-one matchup. He comes back to it, throws it on time, almost like kind of blindly. But again, trust in your offense, faith that you're going to know you're going to have your guy open. This is high-level quarterback play. This is high-level offense. So for as excited as we are about a Shane Waldron offense, you still got to execute it correctly, right? It won't matter unless the quarterback trusts the offense and executes it as intended. And I think, honestly, Geno Smith does a great job of doing that in this game and, honestly, the last 2 years. So this is kind of the stuff that Caleb's watching, right? If he's going to be running some of the same plays, which he will be, that he can take away from, right? Look at him. Read that concept out. Okay, don't like what I'm seeing. I'm going to go to my guy. Boom. Throws it right where it needs to be. Also, I probably should have mentioned, which is going to be a recurring theme of this game. I'm just going to go back. I'm not going to keep harping on it. I know we got to move to this game. But the Seattle Seahawks game plan was we are going to attack Deron Bland, right? We are going to attack this guy. Obviously, if we like our matchups with other guys, we'll go after them. But I have never seen one defender get targeted as much as Deron Bland, who had a great season, right? Had led the league in interceptions and whatnot. Just kind of a gambler in coverage, as you can see here. More than Deron Bland in this game. I mean, they went after him religiously. They got all of their guys lined up on him, and they were attacking him. So maybe Geno Smith didn't even really read this concept out. He was just like, I'm going to look the safety off and go with my one-on-one matchup against Deron Bland. But again, we were waiting to see stuff like that from Lucchesi. I remember week 2 against the Buccaneers. The Bucs went after Tyreek Stevenson like it was bad. Like Mike Evans had like a career day, and they were missing, I think, one of their starting corners where Zion McCollum was their starter at that point. He was like their 4th string or their 3rd string, and he was only targeted like 2 times, which you're like, why? Like the whole intention is to find the weak links of a coverage unit and just spam it until a defense decides to give them help and opens things up for your other receivers, which Dallas really didn't do in this game. And so Seattle spammed it, right? If a team's not going to try to stop it, why go away from it? That's really just like base level OCing, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a know-all, but yeah, that always drove me nuts about Lucchesi. Okay, what do we got here? We got some pre-snap motion. You'll see a lot of play action, just a little bootleg. These are easy gimme throws you like to see, easy completions, right? Usually, like on traditional bootlegs, they'll have a guy come across the formation. So if there's a tight end here, he'll kind of leak out. But this is cool, right? They have him moving before the snap, and he's actually going to come back around, Tyler Lockett, and leak as the leak guy. These are just half-field reads. Not a big gain or anything like that, but this is like kind of like another version of the run game, right? Just a short completion, kind of gets your quarterback in rhythm, easy stuff where they don't have to read a whole lot, right? Like he's got Micah Parsons coming right in his face. Pause. And not Micah Parsons, I'm sorry. It looks like Donovan Wilson, and just dump it off, right? Get a completion, keep the chains moving, don't lose any yardage. We're going to keep moving past this thing. Look how much pre-snap motion they use and like all the funky stuff they did. They're in the pistol again, right? As it is right now, which they use a lot of. They use a lot of pistol. And what that is Geno will be in the shotgun and there'll be a player directly behind them lined up as the running back. They're kind of in like a power formation here with Charbonnet kind of as like a lead blocker. But it's really just to kind of throw Dallas off, right? Lining Jackson Smith and Jigba up in the backfield. But they do stuff like this all the time, right? They're doing a bunch of funky stuff to kind of throw the defense off. So they're in trips here. They have a tight end on the line of scrimmage. DK's on the line of scrimmage. Just a quick screen pass, right? Again, these are like opening script plays, right? Just like easy completions. Like just get your quarterback in rhythm. I like the play selection. I know it's not going for a whole bunch of yards, but you like to have your numbers here, right? They have 2 guys so far off the line of scrimmage. You got 2 lead blockers out in front of them. Jake Bobo kind of just whiffs at the closest defender, number 19 here. This could have been blocked up better, in my opinion. But, it is what it is. I like the play call selection. And this is what I think also you're going to see a lot for the Bears specifically with Caleb Williams, who loves these little bubble screens just because he's got such a quick release, right? If you got numbers on one side, just keep throwing those things. Again, it's another product of the run game, I think, another variation of it. Looks like there was a flag there. Let's see. Was it holding? I'm not sure. It looks like it was. Or maybe it was like a legal formation. Not 100% sure. Okay, what do we got here? This is man coverage, 3rd and 10. These are the downs you kind of want to see, right? Let's see who they go after. Let's see if they pick on Deron Bland. So they got JSN on the outside as the X, which is an interesting choice. Tyler Lockett in the slot, and then DK Metcalf also on the outside, or I don't know if he's going to be lined up on the line of scrimmage yet. And then Noah Fant, their tight end, in the slot. This looks like two-man it is two-man. So two-man for Dallas, meaning all these guys are going to try to play underneath the receivers in man coverage and force everything to the two high safeties, right? And I like Gino's decision here. You want to go against outbreakers here, right? Because if you just go vertical, they kind of have that bracketed off with these two safeties. So outbreakers, inbreakers, whatever routes that are the best, or those are the best routes to beat this type of coverage, which is what Tyler Lockett's running here, an out route right at the sticks. Great ball, great decision, quick decision, right, against a ferocious pass rush. I mean, he's getting hit as well, which you'll see that a ton, right? Their offensive line just wasn't great, and he has to just get the ball out so fast. And on a 3rd and 10, when you need 10 yards and you kind of have to hang in there, this is a great decision and a good play call, right? You're expecting some type of man coverage. Have routes that run away from that coverage, right? And this is exactly what this is, like a route with a break on it right there to get open and move the sticks. Big, big conversion, right? And the protection, let's see what it is. So Dallas is going to try to throw some funky stuff at him, right? Have the linebacker creep over, maybe drop a guy. Yeah, he's just kind of spying Gino. And they're going to stunt things up, and the offensive lineman, the left guard or the right guard, totally botches the stunt. You want to see these things clean up because the Bears struggle with these types of things too, right? Picking up stunts and stuff like that. You want to see those things get cleaned up, which I know is not an offensive coordinator thing necessarily, but good ball. Good decision. So again, they got DK Metcalf as the running back and pistol, right? Just funky stuff, funky formation. See a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of that with DJ Moore. Then they have him really tight in the line of scrimmage. And it's a run. Looks like duo. Yeah, that looks like duo, right? So they're just going to double team up into the linebackers, right? Up into the second level. And as you can see here, they just don't generate a lot of push. This offensive line just really wasn't great, right? So they're going to try to double team their way and pick up a backer. But when, guys can hold up against double teams, like it's just your running game's not going to be very successful, which is why I didn't really want to get into it. Like the kind of specificities of, that's not even a word, the specifics of the run game, because in this game, their offensive line just kind of got whooped all the entire game. And like at that point, not a whole lot to take away from when, a unit is just better than another unit. There's not a whole lot you can do schematically, I guess, to overcome that. I might only do half the game because it is quite long. Like I might skip through it a little bit. But here's another example. So this is quite clearly man coverage, right? So that means you're going to have one-on-ones, or maybe it's two-man. But when the safety is this deep and he's following the slot receiver, I'm thinking I got one-on-ones, right? And these pre-snap motions, for as cool as they are to get guys schemed open and kind of make the defense communicate and adjust to who's got who, it's also a very, very good indicator here, having Jackson Smith and Jigba run across the formation. And if you have a guy trailing him, you got man, right? That's why a lot of those teams even do that, to kind of tell and hint at what the defense is in. It gives the quarterback a much better idea on where to go with the ball based on the coverage. And this is obviously part of the play, but like when you have man coverage with DK Metcalf on Deron Bland, again, a weaker coverage link of this unit, the alarm bell should be going off, right? And they do, right? It's a big fake play action play. Looks like it was double slants on this side and then just a go route on the outside. And that's taking candy from a baby, right? That is like as easy as it gets. I have one-on-one, my best receiver down the field against their worst corner, right? In a man coverage perspective, their worst corner. And that's just too easy, right? It's a great job by Shane Waldron, great play design, good game planning, because Dallas plays a lot of man. They play a lot of aggressive coverages. And to have those tells right? Based on just the pre-snap motion, it makes things so much easier. And like Geno didn't even have to think about it, right? He's just one, I got it. Like he knows where he's going right away. Dime, two. Okay, it looks like Dallas is in cover three, or maybe like cover one, but just kind of playing off. I thought it was going to be run, but again, like this is kind of what I'm talking about. Their offensive line, in order to run like duo and stuff like that, you have to have the talent to run duo. Like you have to have. This is maybe inside zone. Maybe I'm wrong. Sometimes I get confused. I won't lie, but you have to have guys that can create push. Like it's. I think outside zone is more so like a scheme thing, and you're kind of just creating angles that way. But when it comes to just like running at you runs, you got to have the guys that can do it, right? Who can just line up and be better than the defensive line. And clearly here they don't. I mean, 97, Osa Digizua is just absolutely whooping whoever he's lining up against. I think it's Charles Cross. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just not great, right? Like you're just not going to get a whole lot of positive gains that way. And they're going to try to like draw, it look like. No, just a flat out run. Again, another one of those at you runs, right? Which is very popular in the league. This kind of looks like inside zone. Osa Digizua is wrecking them right now. They can't block him. 97. He just holding the line of scrimmage and making the play. All right. So again, more pre-snap motion. He uses it a lot, and you just love that about Shane Waldron's offense because again, I think this is the way that offensive coordinators are blitzing the defenses, how they're on the attack, making these pre-snap movements as the ball snapping or even before it, and really throwing the defense off kilter. And again, this looks like man coverage. Again, a great job of identifying the coverage for the quarterback. I know sometimes it's not always man, but generally when you see a wide receiver, that's kind of what you start to think. Or I'm sorry, when you see a corner follow a wide receiver, that's genuinely what you start to think. And yeah, it is man coverage here. So it looks like two man again. These two safeties are going to stay back or act as robbers because they're so close to the end zone here. They don't really have to play the deep parts of the field. But it looks like all these kind of corners are playing underneath. And they got everything covered up here, and Geno takes a sack. This is just a coverage sack. I don't really know what you're supposed to do here. And this is kind of a problem with Seattle's receivers. I think they do good things very well. Like the things that they do that they're very good at, they do well, obviously, at, but they kind of have some limitations. Like there's not a lot of like quick separation guys in this group, in my opinion. Tyler Lockett is more of a down the field guy, more of a savvy, get open type. DK Metcalf is kind of more of a brute and how he gets open quickly in that he's using strength, physicality, again, kind of winning later in the route. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think, is the best probably at that. But again, he was a rookie, still kind of trying to find his place in the world. I don't know why you have Jackson Smith and Jigba running a deep, like clearly your slowest receiver, right? Running a deep corner here. That's again probably not my choice. I'd want him being the guy I can go to in these chain moving situations to just kind of pick up where he's supposed to go. But yeah, I mean, they're not all going to be perfect. And I don't think the Bears will run into those issues, right? Because I think the combination of Rome, Keenan, and DJ have a lot more versatility. You can ask those guys to do a lot more things than the specific roles that the Seattle wide receivers had to do, in my opinion. And I mean, Charles Cross is having a really rough game against Micah Parsons. I mean, as most do. Yeah, not great. All right, so that drive resulted in a field goal or not. I'm not sure what happened there. They didn't get any points there. Maybe they punted. Pete Carroll, gotta love him. All right, so they're in 12 personnel. They've got two tight ends, two wide receivers out wide. Again, just a quick passing concept. This is cool, right? They got Noah Fant in motion as the ball is being snapped. He runs to the flat. This just looks like stick. Stick is this tight end is going to be running a little stick route, right? Find a soft space kind of like at the 5-yard mark. Someone's going to be running in the flat, and then Tyler Lockett's going to be running a go. Usually this backside receiver is going to be running a slant or, in this case, a curl. But this concept right here is stick, and it looks like it's cover 2. And basically, if you're going to be reading, if this corner goes, if the flat corner kind of stays with the receiver, then you hit the flat, or vice versa. You could hit this window here too with the tight end. Anyway, the tight end in the flat was open because the motion got him open, right? And this receiver kind of pushing the corner with him got him open. And then you get a catch and run opportunity, right? So cool play design from a simple concept. This is a cool play design, right? To kind of make it a little harder for the defense to pick up on. Let's get past. So we're seeing a lot of 12 personnel, right? A lot of 2 tight ends, 1 running back. And I think that was to help the offensive line, to be honest, right? Get extra blockers on the field. And again, just not a whole lot of push this offensive line is generating. Let's look at here. This looks like duo, where they're just going to try to double team their way up into the second level. And then there's just not a whole lot of places to go. It wasn't a great group in Seattle this year from a run blocking perspective. But not to fear, right? If we can't run it, we'll just air it out. And again, let Nas down here. So this looks like just like cover 3 or maybe cover 1 when everyone's playing off. But again, if you got one-on-one with the guy you're trying to go after in DaRon Bland with DK Metcalf, your best receiver, you're going to take these, right? Who is wide open. He just needs to catch the ball. But that's what's nice, right? Like having these players that you feel really confident to go to in one-on-one situations. The Bears might have 3 of those guys, right? You have 2, and Rome, it was a top 10 pick. But like when you can do that and just think so fast, like, hey, I'm going to just throw this slant against one-on-one coverage. He's going to cut right across DaRon Bland's face. Like DK Metcalf didn't even have to run a good route. But yeah, I mean, these are the kind of concepts and matchups you are expecting to translate with the Bears, right? This is a game plan thing. Like, hey, whenever we see him, he's just one-on-one. We're going after DaRon Bland. We're going after 26. And more pre-snap motion, right? So they're in a 2x2. They started off Jackson Smith and Jigba real tight to the line of scrimmage. They're going to line him up out wide in motion. This looks like man. Again, these motions where it doesn't look like they're really going anywhere is for the quarterback to identify the coverage. Like that's usually what those are for. And this is a really cool play design. This is scheme right here, folks. This is cool stuff. So right away, when he goes out of motion and look at Gino's eyes right here. He's looking at DaRon Bland. Again, they're going after DaRon Bland, 26. This is all game plan, stuff like that. And he sees him come out here with Jackson Smith and Jigba. And then he comes back again, and DaRon Bland's still traveling with him. They know they got man coverage. And this concept is called, I'm sorry, let me go back to the down situation too. Okay, 3rd and 5, right? Alarm bells of, hey, they're probably going to be running man here with only 5 yards to go. So they got to play dialed up for man coverage, where this tight end is going to be setting a pick, which is exactly what he does to get in DaRon Bland's way. Let's see. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. This is scheming players up. When you hear the term scheming players open, this is exactly what it is. This tight end is going to be really physical against the safety that's covering him and kind of lead him into DaRon Bland to give Jackson Smith and Jigba an open catch to pick up 5 yards, right? This is a great plan. This is a great play against man coverage. a great play to call against man coverage. And they could have worked this concept if they had some type of zone, right? If the tell wasn't that obvious when Deron Bland's following Jackson Smith-Njigba as much as he was, they have another concept called over here, right? Which I think was a high-low, which is exactly was. It was kind of like a smash concept. So yeah, really, really cool play design. That's just like, again, taking candy from a baby. All right, we're going to keep it rolling here. So I'm expecting a run here. Again, this is some of the stuff where I think in pistol, when they stay in pistol, a lot of the times they're going to run the ball, which you'd like to see them kind of change things up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just guessing here. Okay, play action. There you go. Wow, Geno with an aggressive choice here, and it was a good choice because it was pass interference. This is some of the stuff you want to see him implement with the Bears, being this aggressive. This is a two-man route concept. Maybe I should have explained this better. So it's a big play action play, right? And they really only going to have two guys running a route. It looks like they have a check down guy kind of leak out later, who's going to stay in and try to protect at first, which is exactly what happens. And they're just banking on this hard run fake, bringing these defenders closer to the line of scrimmage and opening something up down the field, which it kind of does, right? Like he has a step on the safety, Tyler Lockett does. He's kind of just running like a seam up the middle. And I think if Geno throws this a little earlier, this is a touchdown. But he underthrows it and then kind of gives the DB time to get back to Tyler Lockett. And again, I'm expecting DJ Moore to probably be the most vertical receiver in this regard, where he's just kind of clearing out space. I think he's the fastest of the bunch. So, yeah, I mean, I like this play design. I think it worked. It was just not maybe executed at the timing it needed to be. But it's kind of hard to execute to the timing it needs to be when your offensive line is kind of falling apart around you, which is a good pocket. I mean, I think he kind of just tried to do too much here, to be honest. And Tyler Lockett could have caught it, but it was pass interference. They're going to be down at that spot, could have been a worse outcome. All right, so we're in the gun here. It's a 2x2. Looks like it's going to be a 3x1. And again, more pre-snap motion stuff. And this was a walking touchdown. Again, notice the pre-snap motion and what it does to a defense. Okay, this looks like man coverage, right? You got a guy following you. They're not passing it off to the other side to this linebacker. Like, no, he's coming across the formation. And I know this stuff seems kind of simple, but if Dallas is going to keep it this simple for their defense, this is how you exploit it, right? By doing things like this. And this was a great play call against man coverage again, which it looks like that's what they have. So they're going to put Will Dissly here in motion. Javon Curse is going to follow him, number 1, right? And look what the play they have here. So they're just going to have him running a little flat route. And look at how much trash the two wide receivers running. It looks like goes, but they're really running pick routes, right? They're going to create to kind of get in Javon Curse's way, which is exactly what Tyler Lockett does. He blatantly gets in his way. Could have been called for offensive pass interference. We'll see. But this is a walking touchdown if Geno just throws it here. I don't know why he took the harder option. I mean, you have man. This is not a bad route against man. Jackson Smith-Njigba is running a corner route against man, again, running away from the man coverage. But if he throws it to Will Dissly, this is a touchdown, in my opinion, right? Right here, if he throws that there, no one's stopping him. And what I love about the pre-snap motion in this play specifically, when you have them snap where the wide receiver is already on the move, they have a running start. Like, they're at full momentum, right? Like here, to where like you can just carry that momentum into the end zone. I mean, that's a touchdown in my opinion. You also had one-on-one here with, I know it's against inside leverage. It looks like DK Metcalf will be running a slant, usually not where you want to go with the ball. And the safety's kind of staying more home here, so he could have had that bracketed off. But, I mean, he wins the route pretty cleanly. I guess this was more of a decision issue. I think this was a great play call in the red zone to make offense easy. I don't know why Geno didn't go to that one. It happens, though. No one's perfect. I get it. But, I mean, I think Shane Waldron's been in his bag for the most part, really making it easy for the quarterback, really kind of dictating or outlining, I should say, highlighting, maybe is the best word, the progressions to go to due to some of the pre-snap motions and formational stuff that is showing what the defense is in. So this is a draw play. Again, offensive line's getting whooped. I mean, Osa Odigizua is destroying guys. Not much to talk about here, right? Just a disaster from start to finish. And this is where those negative run plays, maybe you start thinking about how you approach them. You maybe want to come at more of an angle of trying to fool the defense on those run plays than just running right at them, because that's clearly not working at this point. And now you backed yourself up at a pretty tough situation. So it's 3rd and long, right? 3rd and 15. I don't know if there's a first down marker to be had, but now Dallas can just sit back and kind of play zone, not let anything get behind them. It's kind of a tougher situation to be in. And look, more pre-snap motion. And this is a great ball. Like, this is a great decision. The exactly decision he should have made. Tight window. It looks like double post against cover 6. So they're playing quarters on this side, and looks like they're playing cover 2 on this side. I could be wrong. This is what it looks like to me. And double post is a great concept, or I don't know, it could be cover 3. Not 100% sure. That's a funky looking coverage. But if it is quarters on this side, double post is a great concept to call. You usually have the inside post clear out the safety, the post safety, and then you have a one-on-one against the corner. And this is a good decision, good timing, catchable ball. Honestly, Stephon Gilmore played it very well. And I think they call for pass interference on this play, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, again, they're calling good plays here. Like, they're calling plays that could work potentially. I like the process behind it. And Geno is playing with great timing. I mean, that's a catchable ball. If you guys can't see that, let me mark it really fast. That's the ball right there. That's a terrible marker. Apologies. That's the ball. So, yeah, I mean, I like the concept, like the play call. But again, those are just hard situations to live in on 3rd and long and stuff like that. I don't know if they call the flag here. I mean, that's the kind of like accuracy, the kind of timing and anticipation that Caleb's going to have to play with in the NFL. Like, these are what the best quarterbacks do when they trust and throw it so on time in these kind of windows, right? Look at how tight that window is. And, like, it's a catchable ball. Obviously, you'd like your receiver to generate a little more separation, no doubt about it. Like, those are going to be hard passes to complete on a down in, down out basis. But Geno, just the process again of the throw, trusting that it's going to be open, he kind of throws this blind, right? He's trying to hold this safety off and make this a window with his eyes. And, like, that's next level quarterbacking play. And there's some throws like that on Caleb's tape, right? But that's what he's going to have to do more so of the time, play more on time, play with more anticipation. That was Justin Fields' problem. And they get in on the run play. This is just, again, another at you. This is HB dive for all my Madden players out there, right? Just at you run, right up the middle. Nothing a whole lot here schematically. Yeah, they got him moving as the lead blocker. That's pretty cool, actually. But yeah, this is just power game right at you. All right, let's move forward. Again, this looks like kind of quarters for Dallas, cover 2, some type of 2 high safeties. This is cover 2, right? What's the situation we got going here? Yeah, I might have to cut this short, y'all, because I know I've been going for a while. So it is 20-14. It's quarter 2. This is 2-minute drill, right? This is the stuff we want to see. I might cut it at the half, do a part 2 later to really finish at the halfway point, and then do a part 2 to finish up, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a half is all we need. I didn't want this to be too long. How long have we been going? Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Just going to double check. How long have we been going? We've been going for 35 minutes. So I might only go for like 5 more minutes. And then maybe do another game or not. We'll see after that. I just don't want to go for too long. I know y'all got other places to be. I appreciate you being with me. All right, so this is 2-minute drill. It looks like Dallas is going to be in cover 2, meaning these 2 corners will be rolled up in the flat, and then the 2 safeties will be covering half the field. And then this linebacker is the Tampa 2 linebacker. Think Brian Urlacher, covering the middle of the field, right? So dangerous pass from Geno, but he is getting pressured right away, right? Like Micah Parsons just whoops the right tackle on an inside move. I mean, not a whole lot to take away here because your offensive line's got to hold up better. And this was a terrible set from Jason Peters. I think if you're going to get chip help, you just stay inside, right? Like, he just chips them right to you. So yeah, I don't know. Details. All right. So so this looks like cover 3, right? And they're going to run the ball. Cowardly, hate the call, right? 2nd and 10, right? I'm going for it. I know they don't trust the pass rush, but it's a decent run. I just think, why not air it out more? I don't know. I don't love the call. It's a draw, right? Or it looks kind of like a draw, or like a fake RPO. It is what it is. It's a gap power play, actually. I'm sorry. So they're going to be pulling guards. They're going to pin this defender here, right? He's going to down block the right tackle, the right tackle's going to down block, and then they're going to have 2 blockers out in front of him. The running back doesn't really go for a whole lot, but I guess it makes it more salvageable. What is the down and distance now? It's like 3rd and 3. Yeah, 3rd and 3. A minute left to go in the second quarter. Dude, and these are the crazy Geno throws. But again, great pre-snap motion, 3rd down, short yardage to go. What are you expecting? Man coverage, right? Those are the alarm bells going in my head. They're going to bring Tyler Lockett across the field. He's going to follow him, right? So again, that should tell you I got man coverage, which in this case it does. Sorry about that. In this case it does, right? And what are they going to run? Just another man-beating play, right? A quick out-breaking route. I genuinely hate these plays where they're the speed rollout options where you're condensing half the field. But if you have man coverage, I think those are the best times to run them because you're not really working to destroy any zones. Like, I think the best way to beat zone is using the entire field. But in this case, if you just have man, you're trusting your guy to win, which Jackson Smith and Jigba does right away on this out-breaking route, right? And he picks up the 1st down. That's pitch and catch right there. Like, and look at Geno getting pressured immediately, right? And he just kind of throws this again, not blindly, but this is anticipation, right? Boom, before, like, as the route is breaking, right? The ball is out as he's breaking his route. That's a perfectly placed ball, perfectly anticipated. That's the kind of time you have to play with in the NFL. If you watch my Caleb breakdown, watch the windows in that game and the time Caleb has to operate in that game versus what Geno has had to work with so far against the Micah Parsons of the world. Like, it's just a different speed, which I have full faith that Caleb will be able to play, by the way. I'm just saying it's a different game. But again, great. I think this is a good concept to call against man if you're going to run this concept. I genuinely hate it, but, it is what it is. Some more pre-snap motion with the running back. They're in a 3-by-1. Again, one receiver on one side, 3 receivers on the other, 11 personnel. And this is like just Geno being a playmaker, right? And sometimes when we think playmaker, we think these crazy scrambles out of the pocket. No. And this is what I really love about Caleb Williams too, by the way. Just being explosive and mobile in the pocket, buying yourself time to make a throw. Was it the best throw in the world? No. But I mean, pressure throws like this it's hard to throw the best balls in the world. But this was a great read right in between the curl flat defender and the cover 2 corner, right? Just trying to find the soft spot in the zone. Was it complete? No. But his ability to make that defender miss within the pocket, like I think you'll see a lot of that translate with Caleb Williams, who does a lot of the same things. And again, offensive line getting absolutely whooped, right? That is pressure immediately. Like that's something the Bears can't play with. Like Micah Parsons is winning instantly. Like this is absurd. This is absurd. And he still almost makes the completion. Geno, man, underrated quarterback. Underrated quarterback. All right, let's keep moving forward. This, I'm probably gonna go to halftime, and then I don't know if you guys want a part 2. Please comment. We can keep running through this game. That's fine. We can look at another game. I just thought, even in the small, not small, even in the half of football that we've seen so far, I think you're getting a pretty good feel of what Shane Waldron's offense is. There's a lot of pre-snap motion. They try to solve a lot for the quarterback before the ball is snapped. And it's honestly, they try to attack that down the field. Like that's, I think, what they want to do. They want to be explosive in that regard. And I think that's what you've seen so far in this offense. It's a lot of outbreakers, honestly. So this is just cover 2. Again, I think they're rushing with 4. Could he have gone to Jackson? Like again, like the pocket is crumbling. Like I get it. Like Geno Smith doesn't have all the time in the world, right? I thought this was a pretty good concept against cover 2. I don't know. He's still kind of sinking under it. Stephon Gilmore, which you could get yourself in dangerous situation. I don't hate the decision to check it down. Could he have gone to the flat maybe and picked up a little bit more yards? Yeah. But I don't hate the play call. I think this is a good play call generally against cover 2 because if you're going to clear out the flat corner, then you have all of this room to run with here, which he kind of does, right? Stephon Gilmore does a pretty good job of kind of hedging his bet. And then you have a concept kind of working down the field as well in the Tampa 2 hole. I like the concept, right? It's hard, again, when your offensive line is just at such a disadvantage in these situations where the defense knows you have to pass. Like, look at how fast guys are losing. It's a hard way to live. Like, the center gets smoked or the right guard gets smoked. Like, it's just, it's tough. All right. So, again, some more motion. This looks like kind of zero blitz, honestly, where they got everyone lined up on the line of scrimmage and then just 4 defenders back playing man-to-man across the board. This looks like zero blitz. Let's see. It's not. But still, they can't block guys, right? And this is an insane throw from Geno. So, a lot of times, defenses will do this stuff to throw off their protections. And, because, if you're going up against zero blitz, the offensive line has to communicate, okay, who's blocking who? It's usually just going to be a hat and a hat. Like, which guy am I taking? And they'll do this so when defenders drop out, guys don't know who they're supposed to block. And that's exactly what happened. The center ends up blocking nobody. Completely throws off their protection, right? These 2 guys are blocking the same guy. No one is blocking the guy who's directly up into the middle, who has the fastest path to the quarterback. That's a problem, right? And again, you don't know if this is an offensive coordinator problem or an offensive line problem. I will say, though, the Bears offense last year under Chris Morgan had the same issues, right? Just they weren't guys getting beat issues. They were, who am I supposed to block issues? And you need to see that being cleaned up, especially with a rookie quarterback, right? Like Justin Fields had his issues with pressure, but like that's not how you want to groom a rookie quarterback in a situation where their offensive line doesn't know who to block, right? That's what Caleb was dealing with last year. We don't want that in the NFL. Like that's unexcusable. That can't happen, right? Like guys can't come against 4-man rushes or 5-man rushes, whatever this is. It looks like a 5-man rush maybe. When it should be a hat on the hat. You can't have guys come Roman Freeman up the middle. That just cannot happen. Especially when Micah Parsons is whooping guys too. Like, it's a problem. All right. This is what? Third down? 3rd and 5. So, again, Dallas is kind of just playing prevent here. They don't want to give up the big play. Good decision from Gino here. Hopefully he gets out of bounds. Didn't look like he did. I don't know how many timeouts they had. You could have gone over the middle here. Usually teams in these situations will leave the middle of the field wide open. I don't know how many timeouts Seattle had. But like on this play specifically, Colby Parkinson has just like a ton of room to work with. There's 29 seconds left. Like I think if you hit him here, like there's a bunch of catch and run opportunity. I know this doesn't stop the clock, but still, this is not a Geno evaluation. Again, from a play calling perspective, they're trying to throw towards the sideline. They're trying to stop the clock. All things you would want your offensive coordinator to do. Like just sometimes it doesn't have to be hard, right? I think that's a recurring theme with this offense too. It's a lot of outbreakers. They like to throw outbreakers. Hopefully, I wish they'd throw a little bit more in breakers. We've seen them in this game, but I think overall, and they strike the ball there. Overall, you'd want to see more in breakers from just me studying them, because you have the wide receivers who can in breakers lead to catch and run opportunities, and I think the Bears have the receivers next year to be really good at. I mean, Keenan Allen is one of the best slant runners in the NFL since he's entered the NFL, honestly. So yeah. So again, outbreakers, again, this is just 2-minute drill stuff. We want to stop the clock. We have no timeouts. Keep picking up yards, get in the field goal range. Nothing too special here, right? They're just all running out routes. Looks like these two, Jackson Smith and Jigba's running a stick route. Same with Colby Parkinson. And then, don't hate it. Again, more out routes, this was okay. So this was a pretty ballsy coverage call from Dallas. So in a lot of these situations, especially when you don't have any timeouts, like I just said, you are going to leave the middle of the field entirely wide open, right? You just don't want anyone getting behind you. And it looks like pre-snap, that's how Dallas is lined up, right? Seattle's in this is like very funky formation where they have two receivers, Colby Parkinson and Tyler Lockett. I know Colby Parkinson's a tight end, but eligible receivers so far off the ball, right? Which is just a weird look for Dallas to handle. And you would expect prevent, like I just said, right? When you have two safeties deep, you kind of have these corners playing off. The Stephon Gilmore play off here. He does. So I would like this looks like kind of prevent. Even though a corner, Deron Bland, is playing press, right? Which kind of gives you the alarm bells. Okay, are they disguising things? Which happens to be exactly what they do. So this is just cover one, right? Man-to-man across the board. And this is a great concept to call against cover one, these bunch formations, because you're supposed to, by doing that, you want to throw off who just like how the offensive line was thrown off on who to block, these bunch formations kind of does that to the DBs, right? It kind of throws off who they're supposed to cover, which kind of happens here, right? It honestly doesn't. Like Jackson Smith and Jigba just wins. But ideally, that's what you want to do. It really does do that because they get Colby Parkinson's guy on the inside, and he runs an outbreaking route. So if this wasn't open, he could go again, pick up some more yards, keep marching down the field towards the sideline, stop the clock. A great play call. Again, more outbreakers in a 2-minute drill. Very, very common stuff. But Geno, and he tends to do this on tape, he tended to do it last season, is going to take the aggressive option here, which is a good option in my opinion. It's a vertical corner route. So he's just going to be running towards the corner, right? Geno's like, if I got one-on-one, fuck it, I'm going to trust my guy. He's out there somewhere, which is exactly what happens, right? Just throw it up and let him run under it. And Jackson Smith and Jigba does that. And that is a great play to be made in a 2-minute drill. Usually defenses don't play this way. They're not going to play this aggressively. It is cover one, right? This is an aggressive coverage. This is one-on-one coverage. Not the best play call in my opinion. And if I was a defense, I don't really care about dropping this guy in the middle of the field. If they target the middle of the field, so be it, right? In a 2-minute drill. But Geno with a gangster throw to Jackson Smith and Jigba. I hope I broke that down. This was a great play call. This was a great play call because it had the underneath option open, and it also opens you up for a vertical option against man coverage. Again, a route that is running away from the coverage, right? And you're not stopping in the progression, right? You're not running a curl, something Luke Getzey did that drove me nuts, right? So many curls, right? Where it's like, I don't know if that was a Justin Fields thing, like what he wanted. I just think there's like so little opportunity for explosive plays if you run a bunch of those routes. This is an example of not that being the case. Let's watch Geno. And this also takes a quarterback that can make this throw, right? Under pressure, kind of fading away from pressure, just laying it up there for your guy to go up and get it. And who do they attack? This is only a half, and I've said DaRon Bland's name like 10 times, right? This was a game plan thing. If I got one-on-one with my guy against DaRon Bland, that's who we're targeting. Sometimes it's that easy, right? Sometimes it's that easy. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for the half, or did they go for 2 here? They might go for 2 here. Yeah, they do. Oh, no, it was down at the 1. Maybe he didn't catch it. Still, again, the process of that play, I think, was the correct one. Even though it wasn't a catch, it was pass interference, whatever the case may be, I still think it was a great play call. And again, who do they go after? Who do they go after? This looks like press man. They got one-on-one across the board. 14s on 26. I like my math. DK Metcalf smokes him off the line of scrimmage. That is pitch and catch, which is you don't get many of those opportunities in the red zone when things are so tight. I mean, that's as easy as it gets when you have that stud of a wide receiver in one-on-one situations. And that's why the Bears have surrounded themselves with 3 caliber receivers who can win in those situations. You have so many options, but this is just so easy, right? That's just so easy. It doesn't have to be that complicated. All right, y'all. I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up. I can finish this game. I can do another day, take another day to finish this. But I think this was a pretty good showcasing, even in a half of football, of all the things Shane Waldron offers. Maybe I'll do an article, maybe write up some of the more tendencies he likes to follow. I will also recommend you check out Arjun Menon, his Twitter page. The first tweet on his Twitter page is all of the best resources he likes to use for football. There's a thing called Scout. It breaks down formations. It basically breaks down the usage of formations in different situations, personnel packages, different types of runs an offense does. It has that for Seattle's offense last year. It's a great resource if you want to learn more about Shane Waldron and what he liked to do schematically. But other than that, yeah, I might do another game of his. I am happy to talk ball with any of you guys about what you thought of Shane Waldron's offense, kind of what you think he'll implement with the Bears. please comment, please like, all and above. Catch us on our podcast. Me and my friend Snyder, Michael Snyder. You guys definitely know him. Bears Blog Boys is our podcast page. But yeah, until we do this again, yeah, thank you for joining us, and keep it real. Bear down.